Okay, let's give it a few minutes and let some people get on. I want to do a quick talk about the government's motion and what it means for us. So the government filed a motion, and in their motion they want to prevent the defendants of speaking of their state of mind. Now, they also don't want to be able to talk about the 9th, when Ammon Bundy was tased and Margaret Houston was thrown to the ground, and they don't want to talk about the 6th, when Dave Bundy was arrested. Now, by doing this, by saying that they don't want them to be able to speak of their state of mind, they're pretty much taking their entire defense away. Now, it hasn't been ruled on by the judge yet, and if she grants this, it will be crazy. The government's entire case last time was all about their state of mind. All of those officers talked multiple times about their fear, and that's their state of mind. The first witness, Rand Stover, he talked about his state of mind 7 different times. So it's really kind of a backwards that the government is doing this. Now, in the government's motion, which was pages and pages long, they went through Eric's testimony, and they were pointing out that he and the lawyers were pointing towards jury nullification, and that's what they were doing by speaking of their state of mind and by talking of all these things. It's jury nullification is what the ends are. Well, let's talk about that, because the government is trying to get guilties for these guys. In fact, they were able to do that for Greg Burleson and Todd Engel by using jury nullification. They did not use evidence of a crime because there was no crime committed. So therefore, they were convicted on jury nullification. The jurors didn't like these people, and they were using jury nullification against us, and then turning around and saying, we're trying to use jury nullification. So that's very interesting, and that's something that's going on with these courts all the time. If you look at Doc and you look at Doc's case, I have heard rumors that there was a lawyer, or there was a doctor in the jury pool or on the jury. I'm not very sure about this, and that he was talking about the fact that Doc doing what he did was upholding his oath to being a doctor and to helping people. And they said that was his words were going to sway the jury, so they kicked him off, right? Well, this is supposed to be a jury of your peers. So if a doctor is being taken to court, should it not be 12 other doctors? Because those are going to be his peers. Those are going to be people who understand. And that's what it was meant for. The same thing for a rancher. If you take a rancher in, should your jury of 12 people not be ranchers so that they understand what you are coming up against? Isn't that exactly what it's supposed to be? So, for them to continually say that we're trying to use jury nullification and that be exactly what they're using against us, the only reason they filed this motion is because they fully understand that Eric's testimony was one of the biggest problems that they have. When he gets up and speaks, he speaks the truth. And that's what they're trying to prevent in the courtroom, is they don't want the truth to come into the courtroom. They don't want to talk about the BLM and their heavy-handedness. They don't want to have the finger pointed back at them, like, was it lawful what the BLM was doing? Were they overreaching what they were doing? So by putting this motion in, they're taking everything that they did and saying that we're doing it. It can't go to their state of mind, but the government's entire case based on fear goes to the officer's state of mind. And then to try to say that Eric's testimony and the lawyers were talking about jury nullification when we're talking about our First Amendment rights. And we're talking about the Constitution. That's not jury nullification, that's the law. And it's really crazy. So, what me and Eric are thinking here is this just shows that they're running scared. this shows that they are fully aware that they have no case, and they're running scared and trying to silence everyone. I talked to Steve Stewart today, and he said, well, good luck, because he's going to take the stand. And he's going to have his words be heard. And the way I hear it, Scott Drexler is possibly going to take the stand again this time as well. And I know Eric Parker is going to take the stand. Even if they try to keep them from talking about their state of mind, from talking about any other time other than the 12th, even though the government can go in and talk about all the way from the 1st of the year of 2014 up until much later. They're trying to bring in Sugar Pine Mine, they're trying to bring in White Hope Mine, all this stuff that's irrelevant to the case. But they don't want the defense to be able to talk about their state of the mind or anything other than the 12th. This is so crazy. Everyone should be outraged by this. So what I'm hoping to do is get some flyers put together. Let's get some flyers and make it available for everyone. It shouldn't just happen in Nevada. It should happen all over the place. I am going to be at an open-air market in Jerome, Idaho on Thursday. And I'm going to be sitting there educating people. And that's what we all really need to do, because that's how we're going to make the change. Educating our friends and neighbors. Educating everyone. Because this is not just happening to us. This is happening all over the place. And it's a problem with our judicial system. It's a problem with our government, everything. Where's the checks and balances? If a judge gets in there and she can't be taken out, where is the checks and balances? If the judge is in control of the defense for both the prosecution and the defense of the case that she's ruling on, where's the checks and balances? So I want to leave this with all of you. Just know, by this motion, by the way, and if you read it, take the time and read through that entire motion. It's really absurd that they're allowed to write things up like this. And we're not going to take it. It obviously shows that they are running scared. And they know they don't have a case. And the more people that, get up and tell their story, they're trying to prevent the truth. And the truth will set us free. And something Eric said to, every time that we've gone into court and they had something that they were going to use against us and it was going to be really bad. Every time it actually worked against the government. And I believe that this is no different, and that we will come out, the truth will be heard one way or another. So if you're interested in getting some of these pamphlets after we get them all together and sharing them in your area and helping, educate people, please, I will make them available after we have them done. If you're interested in helping get these done or get them out, send me a PM. We're just going to keep going and make this happen. They're not going to get us down. So don't let what is happening distract us from our work, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us angry, and they're trying to get us to say things and hurt ourselves. But what we need to do is just focus and continue working. All right. I have a wedding to go to, but you guys all have a great day, and hope to see you all soon.